薄っぺらいな。おい。それでいいんだ。互いに支え合って生きていくのが人生というゲーム。
Last time on L on the Lips. This is a serious show about despair, loss, and revenge. This, however, is probably a good time to back up a bit and address someone I've not been touching on appropriately. A physician named Shinkuro Isaka, owner of the Double Memory. While not unknown in the town, his more recent spurts in activity has been catching museum's attention, Sayako having begun to be affectionate towards him while the doctor scares the crap out of Wakana. Isaka, however, only has eyes for her Dopon form upon seeing it, appearing to openly worship it in lust. The dude has issues! The reason why is Taboo is in perfect sync with Sayako herself, and that unison of flawless compatibility between woman and mutating technology is beautiful to him, only held back by how she protects herself from her memory's true power with her Gaia driver. Though back with the A-plot, Liar swipes from Jimmy some of his tears before fleeing. Once his power wears off on them, the group noting that while it's not very strong, its perception twisting makes it tough to deal with. Still, to get some more context to all this, Shotaro tracks down Jimmy. Because damn it, everything is gay about this! When caught, he announces he's going to quit music, since even his biggest fan hated his work. But Shotaro, rightfully, points out that the reason Jimmy sucks at what he loves is he never tried to improve at it, become better at his passions, ignoring the reality around him that he did play like crap, and as much as Yukiko lied, she at least had a better reason than he does to lie to himself. Ryu, realizing the paper Liar used to take Jimmy's tears isn't normal stock, finds the keyword combination needed to find Liar's identity, that of the street artist Sachio Sawada, also known as the Radio Tower Clown with a massive ego to him, and is also another one of Wakana's stalkers. Thus, with help from Wakana, they fool him out. How? Phillip in drag. Only fair. To date, I've met 6 different cosplayer couples at conventions dressed as Shotaro and Phillip. Spider binds Liar's mouth, and with that, he goes down effortlessly. Queen and Elizabeth's song deal is restored, and Jimmy starts over to hopefully not suck in the future. The P's game begins with Shotaro finding a black file containing blueprints for new memory gadgets for Phillip to build, as all the ones they've been using thus far have been inherited from Sokichi. And it's not the only case coming in the mail, Akiko finding a little girl named Rika appearing out of nowhere with a note. If this starts turning into The Shining, then I'm out of here. Well, she looks into Rika's request, it leading her to finding an odd doll at the home of a literary critic condemning a book Akiko was reading earlier, driven to tears by it in the good way in fact, that the doll is tied to, and the writer has written in honor of his daughter. Oh, you're one of those critics. You know, at least we internet reviewers have to prove our points with substance in the material and trends. This woman's just a straw man who reads what they want to from a media, even if there is no evidence, which slanders the reputation of the rest of us. Well, it's time for karma now, bitch! Prepare yourself to be brutally assaulted by the ghost of Jim Henson! Dance, puppets, dance! And of course, no one believes Akiko when she reported this, the crime instead being pinned on her when she could just show them the note that led her here in the first place. Ryu, however, sees the puppet disappear as it continues to haunt Akiko, framing her for more incidents, before Ryu saves her from it. It's a cheeky little doll. This entire arc makes for glorious out-of-context references. While Akiko's elated Ryu believed her, and this presumably beginning the formation of their relationship, and yes, I ship it, Ryu reveals this is in fact the fourth such attack, all lacking a doll at the scene. It's a dopant. Sayako visits Isaka again, and after another session of worshipping her monster form, she makes a request. Modify Wakana's belt so she can become just another of Sayako's little toys. The common element in these cases is revealed to be literary criticism, all of them slandering the same book and its author, Keo Horinouchi, for his work and dedicating it to his daughter. Thus, the easiest way to get him to show himself...
自分の娘をモデルによくこんな安っぽいお涙ちょうだいの話が書けるもんだ。娘のこと愛していないんだろう。
Yeah, dopant or not, that's an extreme dick move, dude. But it does work. Another of the dolls being delivered to the police station, attacking Makara and Jino.
I can't think of a thing to say.
And thus, the doll not only humiliates Axel once again, but double as well.
Nani?
Oh crap, she's got her finger on the trigger! I love this show so damn much! However, as they bind the doll, they realize it isn't the dopant. There's no doll memory. What there is a puppeteer, and Keo is its user. As expected from Akiko, she impulsively berates him with the words Rika has been sending her, only for that to get him massively pissed off, and now his newest target of revenge. As the reason he's been reacting this way is his daughter is dead. He wrote the book in her name and memory, and all those people disrespecting her, callously dismissing the reality of his love for her, and devotion towards trying to immortalize a memory of her, create a legacy that could live on, only for that to be derided so, has just sent him off the deep end. Just like Aya. Just like Ryu. And thus, Akiko single-handedly turns Keo's surrender into round 2. However, that is broken off by another interceding player. Yes, Isaka abducts him, as another test subject, offering to improve his memory's efficiency if Keo assists him, offering him a new doll. Philip completes the first of the new memory gadgets, the Frog Pod, and it's mostly useless, only to record and alter sounds. One of them, however, gets Akiko to suddenly remember a girl she met on her first day in town, with a doll just like the one Keo was using, faking at the time that she was the doll whisperer. She tries to find the girl, only for once again to see a delusion of Rika created by the doll. First, Ryu reveals when he gets them all into Keo's home, the girl she's been seeing is Rikako, Keo's daughter. His dead daughter, who died in a car accident months ago. Rika is the doll itself. So is she the doll whisperer or the ghost whisperer? Either way, this whole thing with the doll, it's not explained! Seriously, nothing in this arc elaborates on Akiko's delusions of seeing and speaking to Rika like this, or how she even got sent a note by Rika that set off this entire investigation, as the only thing ever that animates the doll is the puppeteer's power, but as is shown by him using Wakana as a replacement, the thing the puppeteer controls aren't allowed their own free will in any way, shape, or form. Hell, she's still seeing Rika even when Puppeteer's power is completely severed from the doll. What starts this whole thing off, and is a tying element to addressing Keo's grief, is given no elaboration at all in how it is possible. And just keeping things isolated to just this series' story elements and not the greater Kamen or even Toei canon that has gods, demons, aliens, and espers running around, everything in Double is caused by either something originating from the true Gaia memory, or science gone wrong, except this one thing. What the hell, Keiichi Asagawa?
And this is doubly wrong for a detective noir series where everything is supposed to have an answer that isn't. It's magic! We don't have to explain it! As the arc actually ends with this whole matter.
Worse, this was actually the 500th episode of Heisei Kamen Rider. A significant milestone, especially since the 1000th episode of the franchise would fall the following year. And this story is just unreasonably sloppy.
Regardless, Clay Doll assaults the office under the control of Puppeteer. KO, as said, having enough for Akiko now, only for the Gunner A to come to Philip's defense and blast her apart, freeing her from his control. Wakana is not happy, already beginning to show signs of memory corruption with the sheer force of the anger she shows at being violated like that. And for once in the spats between her and Sayako, acting on it. The writers confront KO, however, who reveals his own source of anger, the slander directed towards his daughter's memory, after she died in that senseless accident. His good intentions destroyed again and again by others' callousness. How dare they even begin to presume what he felt for her, what he lost?
全て失った。妻も娘ももう私を愛してくれる者は誰もいない。
リコちゃんがいるよ。
Yes, but a doll is not a replacement for the real person that is now gone, Akiko. I thought with the recent loss of your father, you would understand that.
Regardless, with Puppeteer's expanded abilities, it tries to use Axel to fight Double, but Double's got a better handle on that now. And at least without this influence on him, he may be allowed to now mourn. However, in the aftermath of Wakana's attack, Sayako confronts Isaka, asking about what he actually did to her. His answer? He tweaked her driver so it no longer protects her from Gaia memory corruption.
でもそんなことをすればやがては精神を。
調子にならね。
Congratulations, Sayako. You just ensured that soon, your sister will surpass you, and by doing so, become a monster.
The D was watching opens with the four mains out for food and a show.
Some would call this a double date.
But as a special treat, this live stage performance features the magical talents of Nao Nagasawa.
I'm too hot. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man.
Okay, that's it. What is with this show and the sudden surplus of Sentai actor cameos? Maji Ranger, Aba Ranger, Deca Ranger, one of the corrupt cops in the T-Arc was Bo Kenger's big bad, and now Hurricaneger? As I was still new to this fandom back then, I didn't recognize these before, but now they're blindingly plain as day. What, next you're going to tell me it's running mate Shinkenger had a cameo? Well, okay, that one's allowable, but what about, oh, I don't know, Geki Ranger? Huh. Shot in the dark. They were probably in close to pre-production. What about Gokai? Seriously? Seriously? What next? One of the Juojo are going to show up years before it was...
Oh, come on!
Everybody has been on this show, haven't they? I have fallen through the looking glass.
Now is playing Lily Shirogane, no relation to Naoto, though that is amusing in hindsight, the granddaughter of the club's owner and master magician Frank Shirogane. And while she has been taught everything Frank knows to be his successor, her performance ability is lacking. Though her disappearing act is legendary. Lily, however, is the next client of the Narumi agency, for as revealed after Philip completes the second new memory gadget, the Den sensor, her invisibility power is caused by a memory. It's stuck in her body, and she can't control it. Her only clue for them is the person that gave it to her is not a normal dealer, but an old man. Though when they track him down, he recognizes Ryu through proxy of his father.
会いましたから去年の8月に
and Isaka wipes the floor with them, having mastered every elemental ability Weather's power has granted him. Worse, Lily blocks them from fighting him, as he is the only person who can fix her memory.
Yes, fix, not remove. She doesn't want it gone. She wants to control it, as she doesn't feel she has the talent to take up her grandfather's role when he retires, thus is seeking this as a shortcut.
It's a selfish and short-sighted act to be sure, but certainly one of the more benign ones of the memory users in this series. But now finally confronted with his family's murderer, Ryu backslides on all the progress he's made, too consumed with rage to be able to think straight. But with revelation of what memory it was, and factoring in all of his assorted abilities, including ice, reveals Ryu's family was not Isaka's only victim. The death toll he is responsible for is massive, most of which occurring within the same week, as he used live people to experiment with his new powers.
More than any other dopant, through his own actions or those he enables others to commit with his modifications, Shinkuro Isaka is a serial killer, and he doesn't intend for anything to stop him.
Thus, now more than ever, it's important for the writers to work together, especially with Lily in the middle. But Ryu's not listening. His obsession is all he can think of.
家族の仇を討てるなら俺はどうなってもいい。死んでも構わん。思ってんのはお前だけだ。
Because though he hasn't been with them long, he's one of them. They investigate Lily to try and find a lead, learning her parents died when she was young and her grandfather has been everything to her. That's why she wanted to stand up and takes Frank's place as a performer, but Ryu doesn't care. The group finding Isaka's office, and shoving Lily out so he can just get it on.
さすが刑事の息子ですよ。照井龍君。
俺の名前まで。
あの日死の瞬間、照井雄二が呼び続けてましたからね。正直あの頃は誰でもよかった。
And thus, it begins. But as is shown again, Isaka's already mastered every ability Weather gives him, and more beyond it.
As Isaka has learned how to cheat the system and integrate more than just one Gaia memory into his body.
Now, normally he can't do this, double an exception as his driver puts two differing memories in sync with each other. But what Isaka's done is learned how to fuse multiple memories into a primary one, through finding super compatible users and then modifying the resultant memory so that compatibility drains the user's life away, imprinting on it so the memory becomes free use and its power not only stable, but capable of being stolen, and he intends for Lily to die and grant him invisibility. And without a dopant form, trying to force out invisible from her body with a finishing move would kill her. Ryu's knocked out of battle, a refined memory not strong enough for multiple dopant powers used simultaneously. Thus, Shotaro has no option but to do something stupid to allow them to get away, and he knows it. For as Phillip found earlier, someone like Isaka can only be challenged by multiple maximum drives simultaneously. Thus...
Shotaro!
Yeah, Double can't use multiple memories at once like that. The system wasn't designed to handle the strain of all that power, so it all blows back on Shotaro, completely wrecking his body in the process. And Weather is completely undamaged. However, before he can kill them, Terror intercedes.
I see a malpractice suit in your future, Isaka.
Yeah, Ryubi found out about what he did, recognizing Wakana's symptoms immediately, and he is pissed. It's only from Isaka sharing his super compatibility memory research that he's even spared the terror of death.
And yes, I have been winning several videos to make that joke.
As while the Gaia driver protects them from side effects at a cost of some of their memory's power, Ryubi's never considered the idea that the differences between users may be a factor in how strong a dopant may become, and whether they actually suffer from mental degeneration under those circumstances. Showcased further, by how devoted a user Isaka is, but still has managed to maintain his wits without succumbing. Whether those are all from prior memories he's used and discarded, or harvested ones he fused with his body to give whether their power is never given, but it's another sign of how dangerous he is. Though as presented in the next arc, while he's curious, he's not letting Isaka have his way and use his family. For as swallowed in darkness as he is, there is still a caring man inside that miasma of fear. On the other side of things, Philip is visibly angry over what happened to Shotaro. This is the worst off he's ever been, and Gaia memory injuries like this have to heal on their own. No medical care can assist there. And it only happened because of Ryu. Hell, the only reason he's entertaining the idea of continuing to work with him instead of using Fang to kick his ass is Philip found a way to save Lily, but it requires Axel's power. However, Ryu is too tunnel-visioned on Isaka to think about anything but himself.
No.
A question I end up asking Toei with every spring movie. Since this is getting them nowhere, Philip tries to look up other ways to save Lily, as Akiko is the one to make the attempt to get through to him, finding Ryu staked out outside of Lily's place, as Isaka will eventually come for her. But it's not her that ultimately makes him shake off his obsession. It comes from interacting with Frank, the older man showing his own skill as a stage magician, and he knows what Lily's doing, how wrong the shortcut is, but can't bring himself to confront her over it because she's just trying so hard to carry on for him. And Ryu realizes the effect on another person it would have if he just let Lily die. Thus, he's now on board with preventing Lily's death. The only holdout now is Lily herself, who really only needed her invisibility powers to work for one night. That of Frank's last performance, so he can go out with a bang. And this is truly Ryu's breakthrough moment, as he needed to realize what he was going to just let happen. Dying to achieve that senseless goal will just leave more people to mourn. All the dead want is for those they loved to live their lives well. And bit by bit, he's gained a new family to support him. Though the occasional sibling spat isn't out of the question. The performance begins, the group catching sight of Isaka, Ryu keeping him from the Shirigane's final stage. Because Kamen Rider is not a title given, it is a title earned. Weather's distracted long enough for Lily to do her disappearing act, before getting her off the stage and Axel using the engine blade's electric mode to stop her heart before restarting it, tricking the memory into ejecting from the false death and smashing it. Gotta say, saving her by killing her is a very unique approach. Regardless, Isaka is pissed at losing the chance of being able to turn invisible, but with Ryu now in a clear-minded state, he is all for teaming up to counter the Titan of the Elements. Isaka escapes,
彼ら仮面ライダーもなかなか侮れないな。あまりに衝撃的すぎてテレビでは放送できなかったシーン。
素敵だったわ。伊坂先生とのキス。
二度も君にとどめを刺されるとは。
And Ryu lets Lily off the hook for her memory use. While they are restricted devices, like the incident with Virus before, it's clear she was ultimately a victim in this whole mess with how she was given it solely to later be murdered for its power, and she didn't actually commit any crimes.
素敵な刑事さん、私のハートが逮捕されちゃいました。
Shh! Akiko might hear you! The Nightmare of H brings an outright horrible actress in as the next client. She is sleep-deprived, as after a series of experiments, all of her friends have gone comatose.
They must have either encountered the Cursed Wave, Ida, Data Eaters, or Heartless.
もしかしてあなた私の運命の王子様?
He's taken.
I'm going to skip to the point with this one. This woman, Himeka Yukimura, is the cause of this entire situation. She literally says that statement to every single fucking man she meets.
もしかしてあなたが運命の王子様?
He is also taken.
She then strings them along to get what she wants from them, until some other thing catches her attention and thus loses all affection for the prior person, who then continue to walk around like devoted followers, attempting to regain her attention because it's rare for guys in Japan to see women actually appear to be into them. She went too far with one such individual, Hajime Fukushima, who believed had real feelings for her, and her rejection and the subsequent revelation that she does this shit to everyone all the fucking time, sent him off the deep end into trying to get her attention back, which was only amplified once he was given the nightmare memory and its resultant corruption, which allows him to enter and control dreams, trapping the others part of a dream research team permanently in sleep, with the original intention to teach her a fucking lesson about how callous she is with others' hearts.
Now, normally I'd make some mocking jab about Hajime just need to get over being friend-zoned, but the arc makes very clear Himeka is doing this intentionally, and it's astounding she hasn't created more psycho stalkers from all this.
姫かみんな大好きえ一番好きなのは俺だろいや俺だ違う俺だよみんな同じぐらい大好きです全く変わってないじゃん
さあ、お前の罪を課せろ
So yeah, to deal with the nightmare dopant, they first try confronting it in the dream world, using the sleep study team's tech that allows them to induce lucid dreaming, and intended to be a cure for insomnia. As Hajime is prioritizing all the people Himeka tries the Prince con on first, Ryo and Shotaro are his new chief targets. But while Ryo succumbs amidst a dream involving his dead sister,
実は私結婚する
結婚私だ
Shotaro never ends up falling asleep. Why? Well, a plot point in the episode is Shotaro not liking period dramas, thinking they're snooze material, so he thinks watching one Akiko is currently obsessed with will put him to sleep. Instead, the period drama starring award-winning actor Seizo Fukumoto,
known for such films as The Last Samurai and the Battles Without Honor and Humanity franchise, and dear god, this series guest cast got around.
Anyways, Shotaro becomes completely engrossed in it to the point he binge-watches the entire thing. You laugh, but it's the only reason both writers aren't trapped in Nightmare's power. Thus, Phillip comes up with a backup plan. Use the gear as double, so Phillip will be jacked into Shotaro's lucid dream as a backup protection and wake-up call.
おやすみ、アキちゃん。
Seiji Takaiwa is an international treasure.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Shotaro having period dramas in the brain, I give you the live-action version of Gintama.
で、仏さんの妹は大道芸人のサンタだ
Oh my god, you killed Santa!
Gah! Zombie Santa! Kill it! Kill it with fire! They catch sight of Nightmare and chase after it.
I love this show so damn much.
The entire resultant battle in the dreamscape is controlled by Nightmare, the dopant just toying with him until Phillip figures out the game. Nightmare asserts control over a dream by interceding in it as a full consciousness. Thus, Phillip has the same power he does here. But unfortunately, Isaka shows up in the real world, intent on some payback. It's only because Akiko wakes Phillip up that they aren't dead on sight. But even with Fang trying to ward him off... It's only because Hajime's distracted in real life that Shotaro isn't left comatose as well. And as for Phillip, he's digitized by a new living Gaia memory that comes to save him. The X-Torim memory, which I affectionately refer to as the X-Tori.
And that nickname tends to be my litmus test for translators. Why?
This is the extreme memory. When spelling extreme in katakana, which its name is, it contains the characters for tori. Tori means bird. Extreme memory. And the extreme memory is literally an X-motif bird. The word written within the word, used as a pun underlying its entire design, and matching how everything in the show has two meanings. My litmus test is whether others understand that.
Anyways, the X-Tori is the only reason Philip isn't dead. Digitizing his body allows it to heal in safety, and likewise carrying him away, leading to a private conversation with Ryu's benefactor Shroud, who affectionately refers to him by his real name.
Gonna
give this away now. Shroud is Philip's mom, Fumine Sonozaki. She had a falling out with Ryubi as they both started developing the Gaia memory tech, most of it tied to how Ryubi was abusing Philip's connection to the true Gaia memory to facilitate that development, and as a result, scarred from his first use of terror. That's why she's wrapped up in bandages. Shroud is responsible for the refined Gaia memories and equipment the writers use, having developed it with funding assistance from Sokichi, who is revealed in Movie War Core to have been a childhood friend, and thus how the Naromi agency has been so deeply tied into this whole mess.
Hidari Shotaro. あの男はあなたにとって不吉な存在。
Why can't you just love your gay son, Shroud?
She doesn't give specifics on why that is, but I've got a theory on that, due to what happens in the next arc, which is precipitated by Philip being downloaded into the X-Tori in the first place. Fortunately, they get a break in the case while Philip's away, as Akiko talks in her sleep. Thus, they send her in as their watchdog for figuring out Hajime's identity.
No, not that. Oh yes, even Akiko's subconscious recognizes Shotaro as hard-boiled.
But what results is insanity. Seiji Takaiwa is an international treasure. From this whole thing, they get Hajime's name, finding his location in the real world, and finally punishing this dream demon with the power of the moon! Hajime is arrested, Himiko learns nothing from this, but Philip does end up dwelling on Shroud's words. Thus bringing us to the Bee Carried on the Wind, with a man named Isamu getting out of prison, only to learn a Beastman is on the prowl. He's doused by the agency to see Shokichi, only to find his successor running it. Shotaro offers to help him despite Isamu's reluctance as he sees Shotaro as, well, a snot-nosed brat. But to Shotaro, any unfinished business of Shokichi's is his duty to complete, it being revealed Isamu has ties to one of the earliest Dopant crime cases. Thus, Isamu leads him to his old stomping grounds, introducing Maruo Arima, a construction foreman, which is of course a euphemism for gangster, and his wife Suzuko, who are respectively an old antagonist and lover of Isamu's. Maruo tries to muscle Isamu out after he sees Suzuko flailing in his presence, well aware Sokichi's dead so doesn't have any backup. Shotaro, however, reveals he's Sokichi's successor, and pretends to know the secrets of the Beastman. Philip looks up the case in the library for expanded details, Isamu taking the rep for a car robbery committed by Maruo, Sokichi having done a follow-up investigation, but what he found not submitted to the court, and it's since gone MIA. But it seems as if Shotaro's trap for Maruo worked too well. Maruo, a muscle-bound idiot, only having gotten his position through the force of a beast! However, things do not go as planned. For when the pair transform, Double's form destabilizes. Philip immediately thinking the problem is his soul memories have become too strong for the body memories to sync with them, thus throwing Shotaro entirely under a bus in arrogance.
The reality is, since it didn't happen before Phil got sucked into the X-Tori, Is Shroud screwed with their synchronization data, either through uploading something into Phillip or remote affecting their gear, to force this system failure and intentionally cause such rejection? As Shroud feels Shotaro is holding Phillip back from his true capabilities as a tool of vengeance against Ryubi, as it is not out of character for her to use her son if it will keep him safe, as shown by how Fang was intentionally made to be as volatile as it is.
Option B is syncing with the X-Tori, jump-started advancement in Phillip's powers, and he's more the problem, as Double System isn't processing his input correctly, backed up by how later in the library, he sees himself glitch out. Thus, it's still not Shotaro's fault Double's power is breaking down. Both of these backed up when Shroud later enters the back room and reinforces her point that Shotaro is unsuitable, planting within her son a seed of doubt on whether he can continue to rely on him at all. But because of this synchronization gap, they're left helpless against Beast until Ryu intervenes, scaring him off, and allowing the men to approach Suzuko again, feigning ignorance for everything. But the talk gives Shotaro a clue. Way up in the mountains, Sokichi has maintained a safe house for clients in trouble, a small bear statue hidden away in this cabin being the container of the clue. The hunt for it giving Shotaro a chance to talk to Isamu about how he's acting towards his old friends, still lovesick for Suzuko, while Isamu is baffled that someone so emotive could have been chosen by Sokichi to succeed him.
薄っぺらい男の人生は痛え。今にでかいもん失うぞ。男の目元の冷たさと優しさを隠すのがこいつの役目だ。
But the sad reality is, he doesn't have anything else. Amidst this, Maruo has contacted Museum and asked for their assistance, Isaka finding this whole thing amusing and deciding to intervene, putting them all in danger with his powers. Phillip refuses to transform when called, instead arriving with Fang so they can bypass the body memory restrictions using his form, only for the synchronization to be even worse this way, which further shows that it's Phillip which is rejecting the body memories, not the other way around. They're saved by Ryu just ramming Isaka with the Axle Gunner, but even that's useless, leaving the group with only one option, an act of betrayal caused by a loss of faith.
なんならフィリップの相棒も変わろうか。テレイルサイクロンマキシマムドライブ。
The bear statue is lost to the river, but as Ryu gives Phillip the memory back, all three realize the implication of Ryu being able to handle the strain of the memory, the ones that had rejected Shotaro. Shotaro shutting down in shock. Everyone but Shotaro leaves the mountainside, Isamu evacuated from injuries Isaka inflicted, as Shotaro is left to mull over his failures, and broken by Phillip's rejection. However, being here, among signs that Sokichi never gave up on Isamu's case after all this time, reminds him that being Double wasn't the legacy Sokichi entrusted to him. So, using the memory gadgets, he goes on the hunt for the bear. Exhausted, soaked to the bone, and fighting his own depression, he pulls it from the depths of the river, finding within it a false bottom. Even as everyone else is trying to apologize for Shotaro's behavior and seeming abandonment, Isamu seeming to be the only one that understands. An understanding that is lacking in those he thought closest to him.
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
テレイル僕と組む気はあるかい。今の翔太郎の力は弱すぎる。
But by this point, Ryu respects Shotaro too much to betray him that callously, as Phillip has. Even Aki calling him out for this, as it's against everything she's known of him, and how Phillip's progressed.
弱い弱いって言うけど、それ は翔太郎君が心の優しいやつだからでしょ。もうそれってあいつのいいところじゃん。翔太郎君は戦いの道具じゃないんだよ。
Once again, calling out the issues of Heisei Kamen Rider.
And Shotaro shows his own hard-boiled strength of resolve by continuing the case alone.
あんた自身のことだ。
Yes, the crime Isamu took the blame for was Suzuko's. She and Maruo are a match made in heaven. Maruo the muscle, Suzuko the manipulative strategist and brain, using Isamu's affections to escape scrutiny all of those years ago. And while Shotaro simply at this point wants her to give Isamu closure and stop manipulating him, Suzuko has no intentions of ever doing so.
Well, this is different. Usually Dopant forms aren't this alien-looking or overtly technological. Thus far, the farthest they've gone is looking like cyborgs.
Oh crap. As things come to a head, Ryubi walks Wakana down to the true Gaia memory, wanting to show her the next stage in their plans, a light emanating from it in sync with Phillip, as Ryu tracks down Maruo and Suzuko, the pair going to retrieve all the money they stole a decade ago, which they've been unable to recover without Zone. But the two, even after all these years, work in perfect sync in battle with Zone's teleport abilities, permitting Beast to fight circles around Axel, all while Phillip and Akiko find Shotaro downriver and help him recover, the two already beginning to reconcile, as Phillip reveals he missed something.
Nobody is perfect. 罪を暴きつつ心をいたわる。それが成海宗吉にやろうとしていた厳しさと優しさだった。君は彼と同じことをした。
Because the reason Sokichi took Shotaro in is no matter how much they mock him as half-boiled, he is the exact same man his mentor was. And the Sokichi they met on that day Tsukasa gave him closure was presenting to him a reflection of the pride that man had for him.
僕は大事なことを忘れていたんだ。成海宗吉の意志を受け継いだダブルは戦闘マシンであってはならない。強いだけのダブルに価値はない。君の優しさが必要だ。それがもし弱さだとしても僕は受け入れる。フィリップ、行こう、相棒。
And thus, Kamen Rider Double comes to Ryu's rescue.
Cyclone Joker!
お前たちの罪は数ろ。お前が相棒だと思ってくれてるうちは俺は二度と折れねえぞ。
Together, they overcome Shroud's tampering and evolve.
エクストリーム。
地球そのものと一体化したように心と体も一つになる。
Because damn it, everything is gay about this. Double Extreme doubles all of Double's stats, and while still weaker than Fang, Joker, and Axel, allows Phillip to access the library in the midst of battle for instant analysis of their enemies to counter them, Extreme manifesting the Prism Picker paired sword and shield.
Which, by the way, is one of the best looking rider weapons ever!
It's powered by the Prism sub-memory linked directly to Extreme's power.
Prism Maximum Drive!
And through this prism, acts as a lens to safely use 4 maximum drives together. And it doesn't matter what dopant you are, you won't be able to match that firepower easily. The X-Tory flies off, an onlooking Shroud baffled that the buffoon managed to prove her wrong, and permit them to access Extreme's power. However, Shroud bringing Extreme into play has only assisted Ryubi's efforts, the explosion of power from Devil's evolution having given them all they need to develop their own version of Extreme.
Isamu, at the very least, has gotten closure, moving on with his life, and going back to what he used to do, owning his own retail kiosk, treasuring Sokichi's last words, and wishing Shotaro well. Extreme's debut has to be one of, if not the best Final Form debut in the franchise, and it's mainly due to the story around it. Well, yeah, there were some good Final Form debut episodes before this. A lot of them preferred to just throw it into existence out of nowhere. Double, however, set up an arc from its appearance, with its realization coming from the characters and their arc themselves. Because of this, Philip's own ego has been tempered and he's finally begun to respect his partner more, while Shotaro faced an unexpected frailty of his own resolve and reassured himself without outside factors to keep going, no matter how much it might hurt. And they'll continue to progress like this to the ultimate culmination of Extreme's power. Next time, however, we'll see Ryu's confrontations with Isaka come to their own climax, as Axel gets his own upgrade. No, not that one, though we'll get to it.